You are about to go behind the scenes and see everything I do to record a fishing video. Now, I believe the difference between a good video and a great video is in all the small little details, the stuff that nobody's going to tell you about. But today, I'm going to reveal all my little secrets to you. Now, there's a lot of stuff to know, so this video could get kind of lengthy. I'm not concerned about that. My main concern with this video is that I give you all the information you could possibly need and make this kind of a go-to video resource that you can go to time and time again to go look up information. Even if you don't finish it in one sitting, you can come back and watch it again. So how this is going to work is I am going on a fishing trip right now. Reggie's going with me, and my son Reed, he had a change of plans. He wasn't going to be here, but now he is, so looks like he's going to be coming along too. I'm just going to take you along from start to finish, and I'm going to show you everything I'm doing behind the scenes to make my videos. I'll be sprinkling some great information throughout this entire video as I'm doing it. And like I said, I am filming a fishing video, so as an added bonus, when you're done watching this video, I'm going to upload the video I made of this lake at the same time, so you go ahead and watch that so you can see how it compares. I will put that link on the end screen, and I'll also put a link down in the description so you can easily find it. But I think that'll be an awesome bonus for you to be able to see behind the scenes and then actually see the video I made. Now, if this is your first time filming or you've been doing this for years, it doesn't matter. There's going to be so much information in this video that I guarantee you'll find something you did not know before, and it could be a total game changer for you. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that our goal is to fish a new lake every time we go out. We want to fish all the lakes in Minnesota and Wisconsin and then bring that information to you in case you ever want to go there and fish. So the first thing we got to do is find a lake to fish. So go check the computer out and I'll show you how I look for my lakes. Alright, the first place I like to look is I have the Navionics web app. This is free for anyone. You can just pull it up on any browser you have. I think it's webapp.navionics.com, and you can pull up any lake in the country and zoom in and see all the depth contours and everything. That's totally free. You don't have to have the chip or anything. I'm recording on my phone right now, but I do have the Navionics app on my phone too. That is a paid version, and I can take that anywhere on the lakes and use that too. But this is a good starting point. So I live here over in Minnesota. Reggie lives over here in Wisconsin. So we try to find some lakes between us when we go fishing, although we fished just about all these already, so there ain't much left. I just talked to him, and we decided on going to Bone Lake. Now, we've already gone to Bone Lake, but we went there in the wintertime, and the ice was really rough, so we couldn't get very far. We only did this top little portion of the lake. So we figured since we only fished it in the wintertime doing ice fishing, we can go back and revisit it in the summer. So I can zoom in here, and you can see really well all the depth contours on this web app. Here's the boat landing on the north end, shows those, and if I scroll down to the south end, there's another boat landing here. I haven't been to this boat landing yet, so we're going to be at the north one where I know it's a good landing. It is Labor Day weekend, so it's going to be heavy traffic on all lakes. We tried to find a lake that we thought might not get a lot of recreational traffic and has a nice big landing area for me to stop and pull over and show you how I do everything. Now, Reggie just texted me and sent me a video of his house. And right now, there is a big storm blowing through right where Reggie lives, and he's showing me, if I can pull up the video, I'll show you, but it was just hailing like crazy. I live over here, Reggie lives up here, and our lake is, oh good, it's past now. Here's our lake. So it's about 10 minutes ago, it was just right over the lake, so it just stormed across the lake, but I think it's moving out, and we should be good here. Play the I use the Weather Channel app a lot because it can show future video or future radar. I can kind of see where all the storms are going, and it looks like it's going to clear out for today. And let's see, we check the weather. It's going to be 93 today, really hot. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, so hot, kind of windy day. All right, let's see. Another app. There's an iBoating app, or website, I should say. You can pull up, and it does the same thing as Navionics. It's also free on there. And it's a little bit harder to use, but you can see here it looks a little bit different. There's the landing, same deal. The reason I use this sometimes is Navigax doesn't have all the lakes on their web app there, but I can usually find them on here if not. And you got a menu system over here. I can change the base map here. You got all these choices. Like I can go here, an aerial map, hit apply, and now I can see an actual satellite view of the lake around it. It's pretty cool. Another resource I use is the Sportsman's Connection guidebooks. You've probably seen me in the last couple of videos starting to show you these. These are a great resource. So this was page 146. All right, so there's what you get. You get a lake map. You get comments about, they talk to like bait stores and guides in the area, and they tell you all about the lake, what you can expect there, all the fish that are in the lake here, the landings, the area. It's 1,781 acres, you know, the shore length, all the stuff you basically find on DNR websites, stuff to put here also, bottom types, and then they have fish stocking data. Now, somebody asked me in one of the last videos if these books get outdated, and really not much in here would change except for like the stocking data and maybe some of the current fishing, you know, comments here. But you know, all this stuff is pretty much the same. And look at, they even put like hotspot 1, hotspot 3, hotspot 5. They tell you right where the best spots to fish on the lake are. So these are excellent resources. This one here is a little bit older book. I know they just redid all these books, so they got much more current versions out there. I need to get some more of these for myself. If you do want one of these books, I will put a link down below where you can get this exact book and pretty much any other book you want. And just so you know what we're going for today, it says this Bone Lake is a numbers lakes for muskies. So they have a lot of muskies in here. They're a little bit smaller, between 36 and 40 inches, but you're more likely to catch them. It also has a lot of perch, or I mean a lot of bass, and it does have lots of perch too. We went there in the winter, we just caught tons of perch and crappie. They were just everywhere. Now when we get done fishing, we will come back here, and I got to show you there's a piece of software that is a must if you use GoPros. It was a total game changer for me, so I will show you how to do that. It'll help you organize your files because GoPro filing system is the worst thing I've ever seen, and it'll help you put them all in chronological order, and it'll really help you out. So now let's go check out all my camera equipment, and I'll go through that with you. Now we're going to go over all the equipment I use, and as far as all those websites, all my equipment and all that stuff, I'll try to find as many links as I can. Put them down in the description in case you want to check any of this stuff out. You can see it for yourself. Alright, start off with this right here. This contains almost everything I need to film my fishing videos. So this is a backpack. I like going with the backpack because I can take it trout fishing, I can take it earlier fishing, wherever I go, just throw it on my back. I am good to go. This one is made by Fish Pond. It is a completely submersible backpack. So this can fall overboard, float in the lake for days, and all my stuff will still be safe. So the reason I got this backpack was because I went to Alaska. We went, was it Glacier Tours, I think, and our guide had one of these backpacks, and I really liked it, so I went and got one myself. It is a bit overkill. It's like $300 some, and there's plenty of other backpacks out there that'll do just as well for half that cost. But it does have a waterproof zipper on it, which is good and bad. It's kind of hard to open up. That's what I don't like about it, but it does completely seal out all the water, so that's good. All right, and the other thing I don't like about it is there's one little compartment on the front here and one zipper bag in here, otherwise just an open bag. There's not many pockets or anything in there, so everything's got to go in one kind of bunch in here. So, you know, find a backpack that you like. I'd recommend getting one that's at least water resistant or waterproof, even if it ain't submersible. It'll keep your stuff dry because your camera equipment is expensive and you will be fishing a lot of times in the rain, on the water, you know, in rivers, that kind of stuff. All right, so we're gonna go over all my equipment, and first thing to know, especially if you're just starting out, if all you have is a cell phone, that will work just fine to start recording with your cell phone and get good at it, and as you go along you can actually add more camera equipment. I, again, probably have way too much stuff, but you know, it just kind of happens. All right, let's see what I got in here. First thing I got is my chesty mount So this is one of my main camera views I put on me, and it holds a GoPro right here. This one is made by GoPro. I had, so a while ago I bought a kit off Amazon that had like 30 pieces of GoPro equipment, and it had a chesty on there, and I've been using that for a long time. I just upgraded this GoPro one because I like the this pad here. It's a big, thick pad, and it holds it really nice against my chest, where the other one tended to bounce around a bit, but they both worked. All right, there's a lot of stuff in this bag, so let's see. All right, here's my first camera equipment. This is a Sony AX53 camcorder, and I actually got this little tripod on the bottom. Works great. You can use it as a handle, push a little button, it can tilt all over the place, and like I said, you can set it down and use it like a tripod. The reason I went with the AX53 from Sony is it's a 4K camera with 30 times zoom. So all my zoomed in shots, I'm on the lake, I see a deer on the shoreline, where I can zoom way into it, get some good clear footage of that. Get a lot of loons too. I see a lot of loons I zoom into. See if this thing's working. Good. So I treat this thing kind of like a GoPro, which I probably shouldn't, because it is fairly fragile, and I just sent it in and did like $350 worth of repairs on it because I banged it around too much. But it works really good for nice, clear, long-range views. And I also use it, use my cell phone. I'm recording on that right now. I currently have a Samsung S23 Ultra. It has a lot of good cameras on it, so I got that phone. But I use that and this when I'm talking to the camera. I'll kind of interchange between the two, whatever one I'm using. So whenever you see shots of me talking, it's usually on one of those two cameras. All right, next piece of equipment. What do we got here? Oh, here's my main case. It's battery. All right, so this is just a waterproof case I bought from Walmart, I think. It's a hard case. This is where all my action cameras are. So I currently have 5 action cameras I use. So my main one is a GoPro Hero 10. And this is the one I put on my chest mount right here. And I'll go over all the more settings and stuff like that once we're on the boat. I'll show you what I'm doing. But that's my main camera. It takes actually excellent quality video. I do have a little beef with GoPro right now because they're constantly malfunctioning. They're just shutting off on their own. They're overheating. All the batteries just go bad immediately because they overheat and they puff up and explode and everything. It's just been a nightmare working with these GoPros, but I do like the image quality and their size and how they work. It's just when they work, they're great, but pretty much every time you're gonna have some problem with one of your GoPros. Then I have.
Then it like turns on, and then like it just immediately turns off.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Especially when they get hot, they don't like the heat. I have a GoPro Hero 8. This one's actually a pretty good camera. I don't use it much anymore. I used to put the 10 on the back of the boat and the 8 on my chest, and now I just changed it up. So my videos have evolved. Every time I make a video, I try to improve upon it and I maybe change things up a little bit. So I'm going to show you how I do it currently, and I've changed things in the past. So that's how I used to do it. Now I use the Insta360, best camera I ever owned. Got a little cover on it here. It looks like that. Now I put this on the back of my boat, and I can record 360 degrees all the way around me, so no matter what happens, I always got it on camera. Absolutely love this thing.
And you can also like make worlds with it and go like fast.
Yes, there's a lot of settings on here. You can shrink everything down so it looks like you're on a round circle world. You can do time-lapse type stuff. It'll do everything you want it to do. Really cool. Reed's made some videos with it. He's had some fun too. Then I also have 2 GoPro Hero 5s. Now the pretty much only reason I use these now is as underwater cameras. Use them a lot when ice fishing. I always have it underwater, and during summer fishing I'll put it underneath and look at some stuff too. That's how you get that good 4K underwater footage, is with the GoPros. And over here, I don't keep this in the bag, but I keep this separate. This is what I use for underwater video. It's the Aquaview Micro Revolution Pro. The Pro means it can record. So that's the main reason I got the Pro. I actually bought this off Facebook Marketplace, so I got a little better deal on it, but it is a little glitchy sometimes. Doesn't always work. But let's see, I'll pull this out here for you. It's nice, small, handheld size, and I like the Aquaview because it's got this spool on it. You can just wind it up, wind it down. It makes it real easy to retract the cord and take it in and out. And it's not in the way. And it's got the smaller little camera on it, unlike those larger versions. All right, so I got this because it can record, but little did I know that the quality is so terrible that it makes it useless to use as video footage in my videos. It records in 480p, not even P, just 480, I think. I don't know. But anyway, it's great if you're watching this on a TV from the 1980s, which I'm sure a lot of you watching have had a TV from the 80s. So my system I came up with to record underwater videos is I use this so I can actually see what I'm recording, and then I'll show you how I do this here. I take a GoPro, I clip it on here, I hang it underneath like that, and now I'm recording on the GoPro, but I can see what I'm doing on the Aquaview. Now all I did, I took a depth finder and I shaved it down and made a little connection thing so I can connect it to the GoPro, and you see it? Clips on and hasn't fallen off yet. It holds on pretty tight, so I'm pretty happy with this system. Works great. Great high quality underwater footage. And I do have another underwater camera I'll show you in a second. Oh, and I should probably show you this anyway. I also made a homemade fin here that I connect onto here. So when you're pulling it along, this thing will go like this on you, and it makes a very shaky video. This helps stabilize it and keeps it flowing smooth through the water. That's another one of those little tips that make your footage much better. All right, let's keep digging. There's a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah.
These, there's two of them. There we go. These, you can hold this one here. These are invisible selfie sticks. These work with the Insta360. This one can extend 10 feet out. And that one there extends 4 feet out. You can get some really cool shots with this. I might take it out today and see, play around with it so you can see what it does, but I mainly use this in the wintertime when like I'm ice fishing. I usually go out on the four-wheeler pulling my shack, and you can get, if you don't have a drone, this can simulate drone shots. It's really cool. I'll show you a couple clips of what I did with it right here. So that's just one example of stuff you can do with these selfie sticks. So, like I said, I'll try to do something today, and I haven't done it on the boat yet, but you can hang it over the side of the boat, get it like 10 feet out of the boat, and get like a side profile, like you got a drone following along with you. Really cool. I think we'll try that today. All right, you done with that? Next, what should we do? All right, let's do this next. This is actually a case that came with my GoPro 10. It works actually good, but what I put in here is cables, batteries. Here, I'll show you this quick. This is the Spydro underwater camera. Turn on. I got a love-hate relationship with this thing. It takes amazing videos. What happens is you clip it on your line here and here, and you got a bait trailing behind you. So when you're pulling a bait along, you get the first-hand view of that bait swim through the water. You can see fish attack it and everything. It's so cool. It's
For dragging.
here, do this second. should shut off. Or beep. It's like a time bomb. Where'd he go?
It's good for getting like drag views.
Yes. I think it shut off. The reason I hate this thing is because there are literally no buttons on it. It just has a contacts up here where you charge it, and when these hit water, it turns the thing on. And to shut it off, you just put it on its face like this and leave it sit, and it's supposed to beep 3 times and shut off. And you have to connect it to your phone. There's a phone app used via Wi-Fi, and that has all the settings on. You can change it from 720 to 1080p or whatever duration you want it to hit, all kinds of stuff on there. But I never know what it's set for. Every time I see it put it in the water, it resets to 720, and I want it at 1080, and it's really annoying. And sometimes I put it in the water, I think it's recorded, and come home and there's nothing on it. Never recorded. So I can't ever tell if things on, off, or what the settings are. So I think what I'm going to do for next year is go with the there's a Go Fish underwater camera. It looks just like this, but it actually has switches on the back where you know it's on and off. And this was kind of spendy too. I think this was over $300, and yeah, I don't know. Not sure what to do with it. I'm gonna try to use it today though, and hopefully it actually records.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time it was the only one I could find that recorded 1080, and now they have some other choices. So at the time it was a good choice, but now I think there's some better options. So if you're gonna get one, I'd probably look at the Go Fish. I haven't used it yet, but I'm planning on getting one. All right, what else we got? These are awesome. Got these off Amazon. They're portable charging banks, and they're about the size of a cell phone. So how I do this, if you ever use a GoPro, the batteries only last maybe an hour, and I'm on the lake, 8 hours at a crack, so that's going through a lot of batteries, constantly changing batteries, and it's always going to run out right when you're catching a fish too. So this works perfect. Let me just show you how to set this up real quick. There's the GoPro 10. All right, so I put the chesty mount on. I put a little piece of Velcro here and on the back of here. So I just Velcro it to the back of there, and I'm wearing it. It just holds across my chest like this. Then I got this little 6-inch connector. Put in there. And then as I'm wearing the GoPro, so I have the battery back there, a little 6-inch cord that comes around and plugs into the GoPro right into the side there. I can go all day long. You never have to change a battery. It is awesome. I do have a second one. In case the day gets extremely long, I just switch out these, but they'll last pretty much a full day of fishing. Yeah. And here's one of those tips that nobody else is going to tell you. First one is, see this little side door? These pop off. This is what's called a feed-through door. See, it's got the little hole there? Because GoPro puts their charging port on the side here, and you have to open up the total door and take it off to be able to charge it while using it. But you can get on, I think these are on Amazon. They're not a GoPro. I can't remember. I don't think GoPro makes these, or maybe this one they did. I don't remember. I'll have to look that up. But you can buy a spare door that has this feed-through charging port. They just clip on, put on, and now you've got one little hole there. When you put the cable in, it plugs it up. And I've used it in the rain and everything, and never had any issues. Obviously, you don't want to dunk it underwater or nothing, but light rain and stuff, I had no problems whatsoever. The other tip, which was a total game changer for me, you need a power bank that can put out at least 2.4 amps. I think this one puts out 3 amps. Because especially these newer GoPros, take a lot of power, and what happens is if you don't have enough power going into here on the external battery, that's what causes half of the glitches I have of these things, where all of a sudden they'll just wig out and turn off or turn on and change settings and do all kinds of weird stuff. I had a lot of problems with my GoPro 8 with that until I found out it was actually the battery and cable I was using, which is the second half of this. The reason I like these is they have a USB-C output, and you can buy a USB-C cord, a USB-C to USB-C. If you don't know what that is, there's different ends on USB cables. Here, this is a USB-A or something, I can't remember, but that's the big fat end. USB-C is this tiny little end that comes with like all the new cell phones and stuff. So you can get USB-C to USB-C, and these cables have different ratings. So the USB-C ones generally can do up to 5 amps, where some of these, if you buy the cheap cords, they may only put out 1 amp, even though your battery is capable of putting out more. The cable is not able to handle it. So make sure you get a charger that can put out the amount of amps you need, and a cable that can handle that amount of amps. And it's worked almost flawlessly since I changed over to this system. Reed knows he's on there. He seen me yelling at these cameras. What else do I got in here? So I also keep this thing, just all bunch of extra cords.
Just in case one breaks down or
You
something.
never know. You'll see this when I get on the boat. This goes into the Insta360. It also has this little piece here. Get a little better shot of that. That plugs into the side of here and allows you to plug an external microphone into it. And I also can plug this into power too. I'll show you how I do that when I get on the boat. But I plug it directly into the boat's battery. It's pretty cool. And then I have a 6-foot long audio cord that goes into my external microphones. This here is one of the most important pieces of equipment I have when filming. Now, audio is going to be, half of your video. You got video, audio, and I'd argue that audio is even more important than video. Have you ever watched a video that perfect cinematic views, footage looks great, you can't hear a word the person's saying, or it's just terrible audio? You're going to click off that video immediately. Now, just the opposite, you have video that's excellent audio quality, but the video maybe is not real great. You'll continue to watch that video as long as you can hear what they're saying and actually kind of see what's going on. Even the video quality isn't that great, right? Mm-hmm. So this is an external microphone made by Pico Gear. It's the Pico mic. And there's several different external microphones out there you can get. I have not tried any other ones out, but I got this one for a few different reasons. So here's the receiver. It comes with 2 microphones, and these microphones are really small. That's all it is. And it clips on the inside of your shirt or wherever you want it. And all that's sticking out is one little piece. And it's the only reason you can really see it is I got a little fuzzy microphone thing on it, which that's another game changer there, is getting this wind mic, wind sock on the, whatever you call it, wind muff, whatever, put over the microphone, because outside the wind is always creating a lot of noise. But these little things will last 20 hours on one charge, so I can fish all day long and not have any issues with this, and you don't even notice you're wearing the thing, and you can hear both people talking clearly.
And you don't even have to wear it on your first layer. Like,
no.
If he had like a sweatshirt on and he had a shirt under it, he didn't have to put it on there.
Here's what I normally do: is I just clip it on my thing there, so it's down here. Works fine.
It can go anywhere that's close enough to your mouth.
That's true. The receiver is it's going to be bigger than most, but what I really like about this is, I can try to turn it on here for you. Test. I got the one microphone. They automatically turn on when this is on. When you put them in the dock, they shut off. Take them off. They turn on. You can see hello. It has a little graph there. It shows how loud you're talking. You can go in and change all the settings for this. The line input, the microphone input, all kinds of settings you can do on here to make it sound good. Where the other ones, you're just kind of guessing because you don't have any of these meters and stuff. And I used to, where I put this battery pack on my chest, I used to have this on my chest and hooked it right into the GoPro. But like I said, the GoPro has a lot of issues, and half the time it wouldn't record it, and I was just having too many problems with it.
Sometimes it wouldn't even turn on.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I started putting this now on my Insta360 on the back of the boat, which is why I had this long audio cord, and I'll show you why or how I hooked that up later. But this here is one of the best investments I made. Speaking of GoPros, audio, in order to hook external mic into a GoPro, you have to have this giant clunky thing. So I have this plugged into here, and then you plug your microphone into there, and then your charging cable into there, and it just gets rid. It doesn't. It's always bent the wrong way, and just trying to get it. Yeah, and I've had these things malfunction several times now, and they're $50 a thing, and I got 2 of them because one of them's always not working at some point.
And it all burns up into a big mess.
So, as much as I love the GoPros, I'm kind of working away from these Insta cameras. I haven't had any issues with them yet. They don't overheat, they don't glitch out, they don't just shut off on you for no reason. It's
Yeah.
been wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Oh, talking about, let's go over this real quick. External microphones. I said audio is very important, and these Pico mics here. This is like $350 or $400, something like that. They are expensive, but it is a good high quality microphone. You can get some a lot cheaper. When I was just starting out, what I used is my cell phone, and for $50 I bought this external the lav mic. So all you need to record external audio is this little tiny lav mic. It's on a cord. You just clip it onto here. The other end you just plug into your cell phone, and you can record audio. Yeah. The key is your phone. There's 2 different ends here. Let's see if I can show you a closer shot of those. One of them has 3 stripes. The other one has 2 stripes. It's like TRRS versus TRRS or something like that. Anyway, but that 3rd stripe is for a microphone. And if you just plug this directly into your phone, it's not going to record. You need this little adapter here. So you plug this into there, and then this plugs into your cell phone, and then it'll record the microphone.
It has audio and like headphones.
It does. So on here's a little picture of a microphone and a picture of a headset. You can plug a headset in there and actually listen to the audio you're recording to make sure it sounds good. But these are a great way to get started. When doing like project videos and stuff out in my shop, I use this a lot. And you can buy these little muffs here, these little dead cats, whatever they call them. You can put on it, makes a big fluffy thing. It stops the wind noise. And speaking of which, the new Pico mics come with a wind cover, but my old one, I actually took one of these wind muffs here and I cut it up and sewed it on, so it just slides right on. The old one, because the older ones didn't come with it. I had one of my mics, the batteries died on it, so they sent me a free replacement. And this is the Pico Mic 2, this is Pico Mic 1. They changed the format a little bit of these microphones. The new one's a little bit smaller and a little better design. So if you get one now, you'll get the newer design. You don't have to worry about that.
Basically just pom-poms that like you stick onto a camera.
It is. So the long hairs help divert the wind and don't let it go right into the microphone. So it gives you a much clearer sound. So all you're hearing is wind noise. All right, we still got lots more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I told you I get a little ridiculous when it comes to equipment here.
Yeah.
Next, in my bag of goodies, keep this in a little dry bag. Just it takes up a lot of room, and a lot of times I just like to pull it out of my bag to save some room, and then I just throw it wherever. Doesn't really matter if the stuff gets wet, but you ready for this? So this is like my tool bag. If I have any issues, I got spare parts, all kinds of stuff. I got like a little handle I can put on the GoPro that floats in case I want to do some handheld shots. A suction cup that I can stick to a kayak. All kinds of little different GoPro mounts that I can put on different things. Little wrist holder, I can put a GoPro on my wrist. Little Velcro ties that I can wrap up cords with. just every connector you can possibly think of, little nuts and bolts, and
like a
so when you're out on the water,
a notch holder, like a notch holder thing.
this thing can like clip on a hat, like that if you want, or
For like a GoPro to get like what we're seeing.
yeah. So nothing's worse than you get out there and all of a sudden your little clamp or something breaks and it's like, oh, I can't use it now. Well, I got all kinds of spare parts.
Yeah.
Be prepared
It's
for
good
anything.
just to have spare parts.
It is.
Because you never know. Lots of cameras just break down at good times.
Yes.
Do weird stuff.
Something will go wrong, guaranteed.
Something will. Probably have problems today since it's going to be hot.
Yes. Overheating will be an issue.
Yes. Will.
All right. Now for my biggest piece of equipment in here.
Yes.
There's my drone. And what I love about this one is that it folds up in this little package here. This is the DJI Mavic Pro 2. So you can just open this up and it folds up nicely, just like that. So all I gotta do is unfold it. So it's not the mini or something. It's a little bit bigger one, but it takes great 4K video. And the controller here, I hook into my phone, which I'm on there. I just take a cord, connect it here, and then I use the phone, to run the GoPro or the this. And this I bought it as a Fly More kit, so it comes with extra batteries. So I got 3 batteries for it, the controller, and spare blades and everything for the props in case I run into something and break it.
Yeah.
And a few different cords and stuff. The neat thing about this, it comes with a little connector there that you can put on and use it as like an external battery bank. If
you can see it if it touches something on my turn.
So right there, it just tells you how much charger it is when it's full circle. So, so the night before I go, I charge up all these batteries, make sure they're full charge before we head out. All right. What else we got? We about done yet? Let's see. There's one more thing here. Well, inside of here, there's a little kind of dry bag almost. This is where I keep all my spare. Well, I keep my fishing license in there. So I never go fishing without my camera, so I keep that in there. I have a little bag of SD cards, so if I happen to record too much, I got that. Here's a little tiny box where I keep all the doors to, here's the GoPro 10 door, the one without the little slot in it. I have a little one with a slot for the GoPro 8, so if I want to do a feed through thing. And I got a door for the Insta360 because when I plug that in the external mic, I have to take the little door off to plug that piece in. So I keep all those little spare parts for the camera in here too. And I got a little card reader in case I need that. Oh yeah, put that back in there. We don't want to lose that. Okay.
Well, I think that maybe it. It for all of this.
Okay, another thing. I usually take this when I'm ice fishing. It's a big clamp for the GoPro. I clamp it on the ice shack.
Yeah.
Put a GoPro on there, but that's a piece I use a lot, but I'm not bringing today.
Because it's just good for ice fishing.
Yeah. And this.
Just lift it up to the top of the ice shack.
Yeah, it works good on the ice shack. This here, I love this. This is another little Amazon find. I'll see if I can link this too. A little tripod I can use for my cell phone. It's got a little 1/4-inch screw there. You can screw on any accessory you want, or you can just go like this, flip it up, and now it becomes a cell phone holder. So I use that a lot when I'm filming myself, or if I just need a tripod to put down and film something with hands free. Great piece of equipment. And lastly, I don't use this much, but Reed does. This is a Sony ZV-1F. It's a great vlogging camera. Shoots in 4K.
It also has its own
case. So I got this for Reed because he has his own channel, if you didn't know, called Reed the Naturalist. And so he quits touching all my camera gear. I got him this camera. And yeah, it comes with this little muff here you put on. It can help with the wind noise. Got a little case for it. So if you haven't seen Read the Nationals, you should check that one out too. It's going to bring this along today just so I can film myself filming, because kind of hard to show you the cameras when I'm using them.
Yeah.
All right, as far as all the settings and stuff on the cameras, that's important too. Now I'm going to show you that in the boat. So, all right, Reggie's probably itching there for us to meet him at the landing, so let's get going.
I'm going to go see something real quick in the boat.
Okay. Actually, before I go, let me show you this.
What?
Some days, this is just a day trip. We're going out. Yes, I got a lot of equipment. If we're doing overnight trips, like 5-day trips, I also bring like a second bag along. And this has,
Tackle box bag too.
yeah, this is one I just kind of keep at the camper or wherever, and I keep all like charging cord, like power strips, so because a lot of places don't have enough plug-ins. Just all my cords and charging devices for my GoPro batteries.
Yeah.
And keep a laptop in here.
Good for overnight.
Yes. So this fits a laptop. The reason I bring that, I record generally around 300 gigabytes of data every time I go fishing. And you got to put it somewhere, right? So each day I'm done fishing, I download all this video onto, I don't put it on my computer, it's only a 500 gig hard drive, but I bring along these external hard drives, plug in the computer, and dump everything on here, organize it in nice folders. So each lake, like we try to fish 2 lakes a day. We're going out here in 2 weeks.
But
By Hayward.
instead it's like,
And this is a 2 terabyte one. I have 2 of these, but I'll put each lake, organize each lake into folders with each camera in their own folder, and that way when I get home, I just plug this into my big computer and just everything's on there, organized, ready to go.
easy.
Makes it much simpler. Yeah, if you try to film more than 1 lake on a SD card, it's going to be full and you're going to run out of space, and then you're catch the footage. All right.
I'll just attach this for later today.
Yes.
I'll attach it off.
Get it ready and go. Now we gotta go get the boat cleaned up, ready to go. And
Wait, did it charge?
yep, it's all charged up. Yours is all good. Next stop will be the boat landing, and what we're gonna do when I get to the boat landing, I always try to pull off to the side and get all the camera gear and everything set up on the boat before I launch it, so I ain't trying to scramble on the lake. And a lot of times boat landings get busy, so I tried to pick a spot this time where I could pull off, and it's big enough landing where I could show you everything.
Complicated since you have to put it to the side, not like you do.
Yeah, that is.
But
All right,
it does work.
pack all the stuff. I'll see you at the landing. All right, so here's the story. I got halfway to the lake. Reggie beat me to the landing and said the landing was so crowded that there was a whole lineup just waiting to get in the lake, and there's nowhere to park. And it's Labor Day weekend, like I said, so almost every lake's gonna be full. So, but Deer Lake is not too far from Bone Lake, so we thought, we'll try that. It's another lake we only fished in the wintertime. And we're here at the landing, and I think we're the only boat here, so score for that one.
Yeah, only boat here. Sorry.
There's Reggie right there, just pulling up.
Oh, God.
He's gonna run you over! Ah! All right, so what I like to do, as long as the boat landing ain't crowded, I'll get all the cameras, everything set up in the boat. And I like to fly the drone from the landing if I can, get a shot of the landing. I can do it from the boat. I do that when it's crowded and I just need to get on the lake, but it's kind of hard to land the drone on a moving boat. So whenever I get a chance, I'll do it from the landing. All right, let's start getting set up. All right, now we're setting up the boat. I got my chest mount on here I showed you earlier with the battery underneath there, plugged into the GoPro. Have that recording. So on the GoPro here, I like to record on a loop. So on the back menu here, you can put it to loop mode, record every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. I have it on a 5-minute loop. That way it's constantly recording. You can catch any action that happens. What happens when I press the stop button, it saves the last 5 minutes of what happened. So that'll save your card so you don't have to use up all your memory. Now for the back of the boat, this is called a YOLO Tech and power stick. It plugs into your nav lights or your anchor light back here, so you can put it front or back of the boat. And this thing here is a game changer for me because you can run it all day long off your boat battery and you never run out of batteries. You can extend it. I usually extend mine 1, it'll stand up 2 times the length. It's got 2 USB ports right here, so I'll have a cord run from here to here, and it will keep it charged. So all you gotta do is plug it into the anchor here. And that's good to go. You just gotta turn it on. And I will be putting the external microphone on here in just a second. So that's here. I'll hook this one up to me, one up to there. Now the only issue I have right now is I usually fish with 2 people, so I got 2 microphones. Reed's with me today, and I'm not sure how to hook a 3rd microphone up yet. So I'm still working on that. I figure he'll be fishing close to me, so I'll catch his voice on either my microphone or the GoPro here. All right, I got my microphones hooked up. You can see this one I have clipped right here, and I'll show you how I hooked it up over here. So here's the Insta, and you put it straight in line with his YOLOtech stick, and it acts like an invisible selfie stick, so you can't even see that there. But I just plug this little piece into the side right here. Audio cord goes here, charging cord goes here. Got it charging right there. Now, another key to this is you have to turn on your anchor light or you don't get power to this thing. I've screwed that up many times. So all of a sudden you hear beep, 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 battery's dead. It's like, why? Yeah, I forgot to turn on the anchor light. All right, I'll show you how I connect down here. So I just wrap this cord all the way around and it goes right into here. And since I have this little rod storage locker right here, I put some Velcro right there, close that up. Now it's out of the rain, so if it rains on it, it's not a big deal. I mean, this ain't really waterproof, but a light rain didn't seem to bother it yet, so there we go with that. Now the same thing applies to the Instaback here. I keep it on looping mode, a 5-minute loop. Whenever something happens, I stop the GoPro, stop that camera, and then I have 2 clips of 2 different angles of the same thing. When I put the boat in, I just leave it run on normal mode, so it just continuously records. So that's how I get these shots of me backing the boat into the water and then me walking up to the boat and taking off. Otherwise, it usually lasts more than 5 minutes. So I put that on normal mode until I'm out on the lake, and then I switch it back to looping mode. All right, I think we got all that set up now to fly the drone. Just want to show you one other thing on my drone here. I got a set of ND filters. See, it looks like basically a sunglass for your drone. A lot of times when you're fishing these lakes, it's really bright and sunny out. You get a lot of glare. These help so you can lower your f-stops and stuff and get a little nicer picture. Reggie's gonna film me flying the drone, but his shoulder popped out of joint. That's what happens when you fish with old guys.
What the hell just happened there?
Well, Reed, do you want to film?
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Sure? You good?
I don't know what this hell is happening.
Can you keep me in the viewfinder? Keep her steady. Can you see me in there? Make sure I'm in there. All right, we're gonna fly the drone. What I like to do is to come up above the landing and then come down. So you see that shot when I do the Google Earth shot? I come down and then it lands at the landing here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'll go down as far as the lake as I can, but if you fly drones, there's a few issues with these things. I got the Mavic 2, and every time I come to a landing, I have to recalibrate the compass and stuff, and then when you fly over water, sometimes it gets a little squirrely, it starts going all over the place. Kind of makes me nervous, so I'm always a little cautious when I'm flying this thing, and I'd like to get more drone shots than I actually do, but like I said, I don't want it ended up in the water either. All right, you holding her steady? You looking at that thing? Reed's filming, so sorry if it's a little all over the place. All right, here we go. Let's do a little filming. Actually, before I film, I always go to my settings and format the SD card so it doesn't get mixed up with all the other videos I have on here. Okay, now I think we're good to go. Recording in 4K. Let's do this. We go.
Well, we made it out just before dark.
Whew, we're on the lake at least. I think it's started around this left corner here. Looks like a bassy spot. So the landing we just took, when we're here in the wintertime, it's, I don't know if the water moves through there or what, but it was open water. So they have a little trail that goes around the shoreline a little bit. And that's where you get on when you're ice fishing. So in the summertime, you can actually use the landing. So it's the first time we've used that landing. Hot summer days, it's nice just to dangle your feet overboard, keep cool. And there's so many boats out here. All right, we're gonna get some underwater views. Got the Aqua View out here, the GoPro on it. So first thing I like to do is just film where we are on the lake with the map. So when I put this together in a video, you can see where I'm at. So we are right around the corner right here on the map. All right, so now we know where we're at. Recording. I just got this on standard 4K wide and just continuous recording. And then I'll stay over here. Just put it over. See if it's recording right. Yep. Let's take a look underwater. It's currently only 5 feet deep right here. We're kind of on a hump. It's like 20 feet, 30 feet right over there. There we go. Kind of drag it along. We're kind of drifting along here. Let's get a good shot of the bottom so you can kind of see. You stand up a little bit here. So there's what bottom looks like. See it? It's kind of hard to see in the sunlight. It looks like there's some fish beds down there. Kind of goes from grassy to just gravelly.
And the water is like freezing.
Is it? It's tells the temperature over there, 73 degrees on the water. Yeah, we fished here in the wintertime. We did really well right in this area. And instead of the Aqua View, I can just go like this and wind it right back up. It's really easy to use. All right, shut that off, and you can kind of see my setup here a little better now. This off. I just keep it over here ready to go for next time. Alright, we're going to try out this Spydro now so you can see what that looks like. Some tips on this one, any underwater camera like this. Spydro had a weight here that helps it go down and it fell off. I lost it, so I used this depth finder. But this thing tends to float as you pull it along and it wants to come up. So you need some weight on it. And then I also try to use kind of a heavier bait, something that's fairly weedless so it doesn't get caught up in weeds and stuff as you're pulling it along. So what I have here, I got my big old musky rod with like 80-pound line. I attach that to a leader, then to the Spydro, and then from the Spydro I only have 30-pound line going back to my bait, because if you ever get snagged and get hooked up, you don't want to lose this. It'll break here instead and you'll lose your bait. I've had this happen before. So I'm going to need my phone for this, but when I dunk this in the water, these right here will sense the electrical connection and it'll turn on, but I never know what it turns on to, so I connect it via Wi-Fi to my phone, and then I make sure the settings are right, and then I put it back in. So I'm going to drag it through the spot we were at earlier. So we were right here, I caught that little bass. We're going to go across these couple little humps here. Looks like a nice area to drag this thing. Might see some fish. All right, let's put this thing overboard and I'll show you what I caught on the underwater camera. to try something I haven't done in the boat. Take the old 10-foot selfie stick, put it on the Insta360. I have one of these two hold it out as we drive. It should look like a drone shot coming at the boat. It's going to be pretty cool. So I've done this ice fishing, just not in the boat yet. So if you don't have a drone, it's a good low-cost option to mimic one. So you can hold up in the air, you can hold offside, out the back, any which way. And the person holding it kind of holds it so they look like they're not holding it. It looks kind of cool. So we're going to do that right now. All right, we're doing the big drone shot down at the end. Where you kind of hold it in your lap. No, hold up. Just kind of hold it so it doesn't look like you're holding it. Have it stick out the side. You can swing it around the big stick on the flavor. Good. Alright, we had zoomed down to the other end. Alright, the sun is setting right over there. It's nearing the end of our fishing here, so we're almost back to the landing. So, usually at these busy landings, I guess it ain't too bad right now, but I do like to start just packing up, putting all my gear away, so when we pull up to the boat landing, it's just kind of quick, boom, and we're out of here. We don't ain't taking up the landing space when there's a lot of people there. So unless we're gonna, I think I'm gonna catch something just swirled right there, but I think we're about done here. So starting to put all our baits away, put all the cameras away, and pretty much so back the trailer and pull it in and we head off. We're done. All right, but we're not done yet with you, because we're going back to the house and I got to show you a few more things I did not show you on the lake here. One, I got to show you that software that you need if you have a GoPro, and a couple other little tips for making good videos. So we'll be right back at the house. All right, welcome back. We are now back at home. It's the next day. Got in kind of late, so I slept in a little. Now I'm currently downloading all my files onto the computer. So there's a few more things I want to go over before we end this. So let's start with the GoPros. Now I told you at the beginning of this video how GoPro file numbering system is totally messed up. So I mostly record on a loop. I talked to you about that on the boat, where it'll record. I do 5-minute loops, so it records for 5 minutes, then records back over itself, and just keeps doing that until I find something worth keeping. Then I hit the stop button, and then it saves that last 5 minutes. The Insta360, it'll give me one clip 5 minutes long. Very simple. The GoPro will give me 5 clips that are 1 minute long, and like I said, I'll probably have a good 100 clips or so of these 5-minute clips, each of them in 1 minute increments. And when you put them on your computer, none of them are in order. So you get like 500 clips all out of order. You don't know what belongs with what, and it takes forever to figure out how to organize those. So here is one of those key nuggets here that will save your life, or at least make your editing way more simple if you want to do things in a chronological order. Now you can just plug this GoPro in your computer and download the files. it doesn't work that way. First thing I do is I take all my GoPros, turn them on. I go to the settings and make sure the clock and the date are set exactly to the right time. That way, when I go to try to match up clips from different videos, I can just look at the timestamp and match the two clips up. So I can do a view from here, a view from there, a view from there. And all I gotta do is look at the file name with the date on it and match those up. I'll show you how I do that in a second. But this only works if your file you download has the date on it. I find if you just take it off the camera, I'm on a Windows machine, so I'm not sure if it's the same for Mac, but it records the file date as the date you downloaded it to your computer. So the only way to get around that is you open up your GoPro, take out your SD card, get an SD card reader, put it in there, plug it in your computer, and I'll see, I'm trying to screen record the computer here so you can see it better. So it'll pop up there. And this is the GoPro, my GoPro Hero 5, which I used for the underwater video. So there's just a couple files on this. So you can see it goes into that folder. And then check out this. See how it's, they're all mixed up in all different orders. And this is just because I only have a couple videos on here. Imagine if you do it with like my GoPro 10 here, I'll take videos where I loop record, I'll do regular recording, just continuous recording, and I'll do some slow-mo videos, and sometimes I'll even do some time lapses. And it likes to mix all those up in order too. Like it'll put the slow-mo videos at the end, the time lapses above it, and then like, the 1 minute clips above that, and then puts them all out of order. Anyway, you can't get a straight order out of these things. So when you download my computer, it'll look like this. Just go to View, Sort By, Type, and now go to large icons here so you can see. It'll put all the actual video clips in one spot, all your thumbnail part clips in another, your low-res files in another, and then I make another file on my computer. Here's a GoPro 2, and then I just select only the videos, slide them over, copy them onto my computer. By doing it this way, it saves the actual date the file was created in the hour and the minute, so that's very important. Okay, looks like it's downloaded. Eject this. Do that later. So let's just take a quick look while we're here and see what we got. So whenever I do this, like I showed you on the boat, I point out where I was in the lake, so now I can see where this video is taken. Let's see, I fast forward a bit. Going underwater. There's our underwater shot. Pretty cool. I usually only use a few seconds of each of these clips, but it comes out nice and clear in 4K with those GoPros. So the GoPros do have really good video quality. It's just everything else is so messed up with them. All right, now to show you the part you need to know. The software you're going to want to download is called Bulk Renaming Utility. It's a free software. Just search for it on Google. It'll come up. So type it in here. Here it is. And this is what it looks like. Now there's some certain settings you're going to want to use to make this actually work correctly. So on the top left here is where you can pick your videos. So right here at Deer Lake, behind the scenes. So right now I have GoPro 2. I just call since I have a lot of GoPros, I have a GoPro 1, GoPro 2, and then GoPro 8, GoPro 10. That's how I label them so I know which camera is which. So let's go to GoPro 2. And here's all my files. So here's the settings you're going to want to use. Come down here to name. You want to go to fixed. And go over here to numbering. Go prefix. That'll put a number at the front here. So you can see it if I select all these. Now it says number 1.mp4. And I can go over here to separation. I can that space bar a couple times. It'll put a separation between there. And then I go to auto date and put suffix, type, modified current. I don't know why, but for some reason that's the one that gives you the actual date the video was made. Then the format, I like to do month, day, year, hour, minute. Now you can see you got a big jumbled mess up here. So you go down here to this segregation and hit the dash. Now it separates all that nicely. And then over here, add 7 prefix, I'd put the label what it is. So for me, it's the GoPro 2, so I put GP2. And see, it's still not separated there, so you can go to the separation and separate it like that. Now see, these are number 1, 2, 3, 4. If I have files like in the hundreds, it'll take up 3 spaces, and to keep them all so they're nice and even, you can go over here back to your numbering and you can hit pad, and you just keep adding that. You can add zeros to the front so they're all 3 numbers, so they all line up nicely. In this case, we only have 1 number, so I can go just the regular numbers there. And now I have, this was taken at 2:11 p.m., 2:41, 5:04, and 5:13. And I look over just to make sure I got it right. 14:11, so it's in military time, so that's 2:11, 2:41, 5:04. So now no matter how messed up your file systems are, it orders these all in chronological order via the time, so you can actually verify it on here by the times that it's all going in the time order and label them. I always put the label in front 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you go into your video editing software, you can have it ordered via label, and it'll label it, put it in order via the numbers at the front. So it'll all be right in chronological order. And then all you have to do, and be careful because once you hit this, you cannot undo it. Go down to the bottom here and hit rename. Now you can see the name changed to match the new name. So now it's a permanent new name. Now I just go through it, and here's like GoPro 10. See, here's all the files. Look at all these files, and none of them are in order. So I go action, select all, and since I already have everything set up, it automatically does it. All I want to do is change where it says GoPro 2 to GoPro 10 in there. So now I got GoPro 10, and here's where I showed you how it goes up into the hundreds. So to make these all line up, I'll just pad this by 3. So now you can see they all line up nice and even as I scroll down. And everything's right in chronological order with the month, date, year, and time. So September 2nd, 2023 at 4:09. That way, when I want to match it up with like GoPro 2, I just go back there and find the one that says, it's also taken at 4:09, and I can match them together in the video editing software. So this was a total game changer for me using this. It organizes all your files so nicely and makes them easy to find, and you can label them whatever you want. So I know that's this GoPro, it was taken at this time on this date, boom, easy, and I can have them all organized right in a row. And once again, I'll put all the links to like this software, all that stuff down in the description so you can find anything that I talked about today. All right, let's talk about the settings I use on these cameras. I record everything in 4K, 30 frames per second. And that's just a personal preference. You can record in anything you want, but the real key here is try to make all your cameras match the same. So all my cameras, 4K, 30 frames per second. That way you don't get mixed frame rates and resolution sizes that you gotta constantly adjust. Just makes it a lot easier. Whenever I do like slow motion, I will up this to like, you'll see at the beginning of my video, sometimes I'll do where I show somebody's face and their name. I'll do that in slow motion as they're kind of smiling at the camera. So I'll do like 120 frames per second. So that divides into 30 nicely, so I can slow it down by like 5 times. Yeah, I just 20% speed, and it works perfect. It divides into it nicely. I keep telling you how much I love my Insta360. There is one downside with this, and that comes up with the external mics. I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but for some reason, I think it's a software issue. I just wish they'd update that somehow. When I plug that external microphone into here, the sound comes out very quiet. So I have to go in the settings on here and go to the external mic setting and up the gain as far as it'll go. It'll go like +6 dBs on here. And then I also got to go to my external mic and I up those gains on there. And it still comes out pretty, it's usable, but in my editing software, I do have to raise the volume again in there to get it to sound right. So that's really the only issue with this thing. It works fine without the external mic too, but I found my GoPro 10 here actually has better sound quality than the Insta does when just using the internal mic on this thing. And lastly, for the cameras, my trusty AX53 camcorder. I really do like this thing. There's one issue I don't like about this one, and it's the microphone. Hey, if you ever see this, I made a little homemade. There's the microphone. I just took some fabric here and some Velcro and made my own little wind thing for the mic. So anyway, this microphone is directional, so it takes in sound from the front better than it does from the back, and it drives me nuts. But I'll be talking to the camera like this, it'll sound just fine, and then I'll turn around to point at something I'm trying to tell you about, and all of a sudden my voice goes from loud to really quiet. So in my editing, I got to constantly adjust my voice volume so you can keep hearing it. There is a button in here right up top here. It's supposed to make it so it doesn't cancel out noise coming from behind you, and it does help, but it's not very good. If I turn this on, you can almost not hear me at all from the back, and I turn it off, you can hear me, but it's quieter than it is from the front. So it's really annoying. Luckily it has a spot I can plug that external mic on here, and a lot of times I just use that so you can hear me full strength no matter which way I'm pointing the camera. Okay, now you've followed along with me on an entire fishing trip, seeing all my camera equipment and kind of how I film things, the settings I use. Well, now we got to put all that together into a video. So now we're making a fishing video, and I think a lot of us feel that making a fishing video is just recording every time we catch a fish and then taking all those clips, putting them together, and there's our fishing video. I've even heard people say, oh, I didn't catch any fish on this trip, so I can't make a video. Well, that's not true, because the catching of the fish is only a small part of making a fishing video. What we're really doing here is telling a story. Storytelling in its simplest form is about change. Now, there's a thing called the Harmon Story Circle. If you've never heard of this, just go to Google, look up Harmon Story Circle. Here's a little graph of what it looks like. And it basically says you have someone, they start out, kind of show as they are. They'll go through some usually trial, some hardship, and then they'll learn something. They'll come back to the same spot they started, but as a changed person. So how do we use this with a fishing video? Because fishing is difficult because it's unpredictable. You can't script out what you're going to do ahead of time. But what you can do is find some kind of storyline and then take video that will support that storyline. So even if you don't catch a single fish during the whole trip, you still have a good video. And here's an example. We start off with you really excited because you're about to fish on a lake that has record fish in it. And you are so excited to catch a trophy for yourself. So you start filming and you can be talking all about how you're going to catch your personal best fish on this trip. You're going to catch a monster muskie, walleye, bass, whatever it is you fish for. You are so excited about it. You go on the lake and you're fishing. You're talking about, I'm using this huge bait because I'm going after the big fish. You're showing where the big fish are, so you're going there on the lake, and then you can show yourself constantly fishing and maybe not catching anything, and kind of show how you're getting discouraged because you're not getting any bites because you're on this lake that has these monster fish in it and you're not catching any. Now, the story could take a change. You could actually catch one, and then you can kind of focus on that as your story. But if you don't actually catch one, so you can make the whole story about how sad and disappointed you are that you're not catching anything on this lake that is supposed to be so good. And then when you get to the end of the video, you can have this big revelation that the reason that trophy fish are so exciting to catch is because they are really hard to catch. which just renews your energy to go back and do this again and catch that big fish. So maybe you're going to go back and you're going to study up on it, learn where big fish live, what they bite on, and you get really excited about coming back and doing it again. And then you can maybe have a part 2 where you go back out and try it again. So there's a whole story there, even though you didn't even catch a fish. So I encourage you to look for that story before you even go on the lake. Kind of figure out maybe what the lake's about, what you're trying to accomplish that day, and kind of, film your footage to support that story. And of course, the story can change throughout the day, so you kind of keep adjusting how you're filming your video. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes look at how I film fishing videos. Now feel free to take any of this information and put it towards your videos, but remember, make it unique, make it something that only you do. In my videos, the thing I try to do different is that I like to show you which lake I'm on, and I show you exactly where I am on the lake as I'm fishing, and I try to get good information and bring it back to you guys, so if you want to go fish this lake, you have a better idea what it's like. Now, I know I covered a lot, and I probably left out a lot of stuff too. If you got any questions about this, just let me know in the comments, or you can always email me at randy@gomidwestfishing.com. I would love to hear if you learned something new from this video, something that you didn't know about before. Just please let me know in the comments so I know if this was helpful or not. I'm looking forward to see what kind of videos you guys make. In the meantime, go check out the one I just made on Deer Lake so you can see all this getting put to use. All right, everyone, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you on the next video.